Hi and welcome to this short Hatha Flow Yoga class with me, Heather Deaville from Deaville Yoga. I hope you enjoy the class. Please take it at your own pace. Remember, it's your practice today. So if something doesn't feel right, stop, don't do it. If something feels great, maybe stay in it a bit longer and enjoy. So we're going to start by coming to a comfortable seated position, maybe cross-legged. If you want, you can always grab a cushion, a blanket, a bolster, just to raise the hips up and just lift them up slightly. I quite like that. And we're going to start by bringing our focus to our breath. So bringing your hands to your heart. And we're going to inhale the arms up nice and wide, reaching through the fingertips and exhale on back down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, inhaling up, looking up if you want to, if it feels nice in the neck, and exhaling back down to your heart. I'm going to turn my palms to face the ceiling, bring my thumb and forefinger to touch and close my eyes. Still feeling a bit tight in the shoulders, so I might take a couple of shoulder rolls here, just to loosen that out, and if you want to, dropping one ear over to one shoulder, rolling that round to the opposite side a few times, just doing whatever feels nice for you. And then when you're ready, bringing your head back up to center, closing your eyes and bringing your focus to your breath. Relaxing the belly, letting it go. I always like to talk about having a nice big Buddha belly in class, so just like young children, just have a nice big belly, don't worry about holding anything in. And beginning to inhale and exhale through the nose, nice and deeply. Starting to focus on really slowing your exhalation down. So this really helps us tune into our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest, and helps calm us down. I often use this breath when I'm getting a bit stressed out. One more big deep breath here. Long, slow exhalation. And just dropping your chin down to your chest, opening your eyes and bringing your head back up to center. We're going to inhale the arms up nice and wide. This time we're going to take the left hand down to the right knee, right hand behind, just for a twist. We're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall, exhale, twist. If you want to take this twist a little deeper, you can bring the belly button towards the spine, engage the pelvic floor muscles. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhaling the arms back up to the ceiling and exhaling, going the opposite way. So remembering to relax those shoulders down. Mine always like to get involved. Three more breaths here. And releasing back to center. We're going to come over onto our hands and knees. So if you need any extra padding under your knees, grabbing a cushion or a blanket if you have one, and again under your wrists. If this is too much on the wrists, you can always come up onto the fists like this, or spider tip the fingers. Do what works for you. So I'm lifting, spreading my fingers on the mat beneath me, my wrists under my shoulders, my knees are hip width apart, my belly button's coming towards my spine and pressing down through my hands nice and long, looking down, extending through the crown of the head. Keeping a couple of breaths here in tabletop. Imagine you've got your morning cup of coffee or your evening tipple on your back and you really don't want to spill it. And from here we're going to do some cat-cows. Just start moving the spine. We're going to inhale, look up, tilt the sit bones, press down through the hands. Exhale, press down through the hands, round through the spine, chin to chest, belly button towards spine. Inhaling up and open. And exhaling, rounding. Remembering that you can always change the movement slightly here if something feels better for you. If you want to hold in a cat or in a cow pose, please feel free to do so. This is your practice. You're taking the time out of your day to do this. So make sure you enjoy it and you get the most you want from it. I'm going to bring the big toes to touch, take the knees nice and wide, coming back into an extended child's pose. So inhaling and exhaling. Releasing the forehead down to the floor, the hips to the heels. If the hips don't reach the heels, maybe grab your cushion or a block or anything you've got, place it under there. The reason for doing that is that the connection helps the muscles release and relax, whereas if you're here floating in midair, the muscles are still going to stay tense and we're looking to release, relax and open. So child's pose is a pose you can come into at any time during your practice to relax. You can have the arms actively the hands trying to push away on the mat, rolling those shoulders back and down, releasing the forehead down. Or if you want, you can take a more relaxed child's pose. Entirely up to you. From here, we're going to take the right hand, place it into the center of the mat. We're going to inhale the left arm forwards, and as we exhale, we're going to sweep it all the way down to the side of the body. Inhaling the arm up and open, exhaling it down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Again, I'll always give breath cues, but if it doesn't feel right for you, don't force yourself, just remember to breathe. Inhaling up, and this time let's see if we can really slow the movement down. One more. That feels nice this morning. And coming back to rest in your child's pose. From here we're going to come up, we're going to inhale the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take this arm, thread it through and under, coming down onto the shoulder if that's comfortable for you. You can press down as you exhale through the right hand just to deepen the stretch ever so slightly. Staying here for a few breaths. Before we inhale those fingertips back up towards the ceiling and exhale them back down. From here, we're going to do exactly the same but on the opposite side. So we're going to take the left hand, place it in the centre of the mat. Inhale the right arm forwards, exhale, sweep it all the way down the side of the body. Inhaling the arm up, shoulder blades moving towards one another, exhaling, reaching forwards and down. Circling those fingertips, opening through that shoulder. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And for these last two, seeing if we can really slow the movement down. Slow the breath down. And coming back to rest in child's. From here, we're going to come back up onto all fours, bring the knees back into parallel, and we're going to bring the right foot forward to the outside of the right hand. Feel free always to give it a little bit of help, and again, if you want to, add some extra padding under the opposite knee. So whenever you're in a pose, if you find once you've come up, you feel a bit wibbly, adjust. We're all made differently, so bring the foot in, take it out, find out what works for you. We're going to bring our hands to our hearts. We're going to inhale the arms up towards the ceiling, interlacing the fingers like this. As we exhale, we're going to bend into that front knee. So I've walked that foot forward so that the knee isn't coming over the ankle. And we're going to exhale, sweep our hands down. As we sweep them back, we're going to bring the right toes back up with us. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Keep going with that motion. Nice hip opener here. Getting a nice hamstring stretch as well. This time we're going to hold that hamstring stretch. So I'm just going to really lightly rest my hands here. You can have them on your hips. Make sure your hips are parallel. Maybe bring the right toes a little bit further towards the face if that adds a nice little bit of stretching. If you want to, you're always welcome to bring the body forward as well. But that doesn't feel great for you, just keep it nice and tall here. We're going to place that foot down on the mat. So now I'm going to be sort of opposite to you maybe, so sorry about that. I'm going to place it as if I'm in Warrior Two. So the outside of my foot is parallel to the outside edge of the mat. And I'm really trying to get that little toe side of the foot down on the mat. That really engages this leg. You can suddenly feel the muscles getting involved. Belly button towards spine. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Looking over the middle fingertip. And sometimes it can feel quite sort of still and maybe a bit too rigid, so you can always bring in a little movement, maybe turning the palms up and down, or maybe just softening and then reaching. Find what feels good for you, or maybe just a nice static pose feels good for you today. One more deep breath here. I'm going to inhale, turn that palm up to face the ceiling. Exhale, bring it up, reaching. So not worried about too much about how far we come over here. Just more that we're getting a lovely stretch down this side. Inhaling back up from here. Exhale, bringing this hand down onto the mat and reaching the opposite hand up towards the ceiling. So again, you might feel you need to adjust a bit here and maybe giving that wrist a little bit of circle in the air, giving it a bit of love, a bit of queen wave. And then if you want to, extending that arm over the top of the head as well. And really engaging all the way from the little toe side of the foot right up to the fingertips, rolling those shoulders back and down. Won't always want to get involved. And then releasing that hand down. Coming back down onto the mat. I'm going to do some swooping cats here. I'm just going to pop my cushion to the side. So we're in parallel, but my arms are a little bit further forward than my tabletop. I come back, keeping the elbows tucked into the side of the body. Inhale, I swoop sort of my chin and my chest down. When I get to the top, I exhale round through the spine, belly button to spine, chin to chest. Bring my feet back. I sort of naturally want to bring my heels together when I do this, but you might find that you don't. I have a little bit of movement there. Inhaling forwards, exhaling, rounding through. One more. Final one. Then we're going to place our, come back up onto our all fours. Maybe place the left hand back in the centre of the mat. We're going to inhale the right hand up towards the ceiling. So we're going the opposite way to the way we did before. And we're going to exhale, thread that through and under, coming down onto the right shoulder. Again, this time pressing down through the left hand if you have also slightly want to deepen this stretch. Inhaling that hand back up towards the ceiling and exhaling it down. We're going to step the left foot forward this time to the outside of the left leg. And as I say, I've got a nice angle here so that I know I've got room to lunge and move into. Maybe grabbing your pillow or your blanket or whatever. You can always fold your mat over as well. For that knee, just because we're going to be moving on the joint, bringing your hands to your heart. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling them back down to heart. We're going to do that twice more. Inhaling up, exhaling down. This time we're going to interlace those thumbs again. As we exhale, we're going to lunge forward, sweeping the hands down. Inhaling, bringing that foot back and up. Exhaling it down. Bringing those left toes back up as you come up. Thinking about scooping the energy back into the body and releasing it out. Final one. This time we're going to hold as we bring those left toes back up. Again, you might want to bring your hands to your hips, just make sure they're square. Bring that left hip ever so slightly further back, resting the hands wherever they feel nice. Enjoying that stretch down that side. And then taking that left foot, placing it down on the mat, turning to face the long edge of your mat. And again, getting that little toe side of your left foot parallel to the edge of the mat, really sending that side down onto the mat, and you'll feel all of this ping into action. Belly button towards spine, inhaling the arms up to center. This time we're looking over the right fingertips. Again, you can always turn the hands up and down. I find that helps release through the shoulders, which is really nice. Or you can inhale and exhale, reach away. Turning that front palm up when you're ready. Maybe one more breath here. Before you inhale that arm up. So we're not worried about how far we come over in this pose, just that we get a nice stretch down the side body. You don't have to be trying to fold yourself into. Well, there's nothing wrong with that as well. If it works for you and it feels good. We're just being really mindful, particularly of your lower back, keeping that extension going through the head so we're not collapsing. And enjoying. I haven't really got any weight in this hand, it's just resting there. And you can always, well, the best time to release further into the stretch is on the exhale. And the body is relaxing. We're going to inhale, press down through the foot, come back up. Exhale, take this hand down onto the mat. And reach the left hand up towards the ceiling, circling that wrist. Doing your queen wave. Inhale, exhale, bring that arm up over. Whoa. It's tight this morning. And I'm going to come up onto my fist on my right hand because I've just got a little bit of wrist niggle at the moment. Really reaching all the way up whilst rooting that shoulder blade down and releasing that hand down. Turning to face the shorter edge of your mat again. We're just going to come and do a few low plank dips. So walking the knees back. We're only going to do 3. We're going to inhale as we come down, keeping the elbows tucked into the side of the body. We're going to exhale as we come back up. Belly button towards spine, nice and long through the neck. One more. Walk the hands back towards the knees. And if you want to here, you can tuck the toes under, come into a little toe stretch. If you don't want to, please don't worry about doing that. Just joining in with the arms. We're going to inhale the right arm back. Left arm joins it onto the lower back. Inhaling, exhaling, bringing those towards one another, lifting up through the chest. Great, from here we're going to release it out. We're going to walk the hands forwards. We're going to come up into a downward facing dog through a squatting dog. So we're going to bring the feet back into parallel, tuck the toes under, lift the hips nice and high, keeping a nice bend in the knees to start with, sending your chest towards your thighs. That really helps elongate through the spine. Walking one heel at a time down towards the mat. And remembering that it doesn't matter if your heels reach the mat or not in downward facing dog. It's your practice. The more you take your body into these positions, the more used to them it will get. But it's just about how it feels for you, so don't ever push things
to a place that doesn't feel nice. Softening through the knees, walking the hands back towards the feet. I'm going to take a wider stance here for my ragdoll forward fold. Taking a hold of the opposite elbow with the opposite hand and just shaking out the head. Shaking and nodding the head, bobbing from side to side. Really letting the weight of the head go. And you can feel, I can feel the top part of my spine, my thoracic spine really extending here. And I'm going to inhale, come for a halfway lift, bring my hands onto my shins, belly button towards spine, rolling those shoulders back and down. You can also bring them up onto your thighs. As I say, what works for you is great. Exhale, maybe coming to a more active forward fold, belly button towards spine, still keep a little softness in the knees. Inhale again for another halfway lift. And then inhale, exhale, soften and roll back up to standing. We're rolling, trying to roll one vertebra at a time, which is really hard to do. And then rolling the shoulders up, back and down when you get there. Very nice. Going to step towards the front of the mat. Bring the hands to the heart. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale them back down. Inhale them up. Exhale them down. This time, I've realised I'm too close to the door, so I'm going to step back a bit. We're going to inhale them up. And as we exhale, we're going to swan dive forward. So hands at heart, just keeping the back nice and straight when you want to, just softening in the knees and just coming into a lovely forward fold. Checking the position of your feet when you're down there. Inhaling for that halfway lift, hands to the shins or hands to the thighs, whatever feels good for you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for another halfway lift. Exhale, placing the hands, stepping back into plank. Now, I would advise you here for your first one to lower your knees, and we'll do a little low swan salutation. So we're going to inhale, exhale, bring the chin and chest down onto the mat. We're going to do a few rolls here in Cobra just because it's a lovely way to warm up. So make sure your feet are energized, heels may be coming slightly towards one another. So we're protecting the lower back, belly button towards spine. We're going to inhale, press down through the hands, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Exhale, release. Doesn't matter how high you come to where feels good for you. Exhale, release. One more. Inhaling up, exhaling back down. Press down through the hands, coming back into your tabletop position, maybe tucking the toes under, lifting the hips high. Back into your downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths this time. Keeping the feet moving if that feels good for you. Pressing down through the knuckles, the whole of the hand. On your next inhale, bend the knees, look forwards, walk the feet up to the hands. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale for a forward fold. And then I like to inhale and then exhale. Roll back up to standing. I quite like once I get up there as well to inhale the arms up and then exhale them back down to my heart. So we're going to do that all over again. Nice warming, energizing sequence for us. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, stepping back into plank. Lowering the knees. Inhale, exhale, lowering chin and chest down onto the floor. One cobra here. We're going to inhale, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Exhale, release. Press back through the hands. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips nice and high, coming into your downward facing dog. Looking back between your legs, checking your feet are in parallel, hip width apart, pressing down through the knuckles in the hands so that all the weight isn't in the wrist. And if this is too much today, come down into child's pose. On your next inhale, looking forwards, walking or stepping the feet to the front of the mat as you inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, exhaling, rolling back up to standing. Maybe inhaling the arms up once you get there. and exhaling the hands back down to heart. We're going to do that one more time, and this time if you would like to, you're very welcome to do a full sun salutation with a chaturanga, if you know what I'm talking about. Don't worry if you don't. So we're going to inhale the arms up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to floor, shins or thighs. Exhale, stepping back into plank. Dropping the knees or keeping them up. Inhaling forwards, exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, lifting the hips nice and high. Downward facing dog. Last breath here. Softening the knees, walking, stepping or jumping the feet forwards. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, exhale, rolling back up to standing. Inhaling the arms out nice and wide. And exhaling the hands back down to heart. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warm now. I am. So we're just going to do our high warrior flow before we come down for our final relaxation. So we're going to step the right foot forward, left foot back, or just mirror me, whatever works best for you. So my right foot is facing forward, my left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Roughly the alignment is the heel lining up to the inner arch, but again, we've all got different shaped bones, so slightly wider, or find what works for you, basically. Try and energize the feet so they feel like they're moving away from one another on the mat. Belly button towards the spine, inhaling the arms up to shoulder. I don't always want to get involved. Feel free to have a look at them as well if you think, I don't know where they are in space. It's fine. Really reaching through those fingertips. Inhale, turn the front palm up to face the ceiling. Exhale, bring that arm up and over. Again, don't worry about how far over you come. Make sure you keep nice and long through the crown of the head. We're not crunching or rounding forward, but staying nice and open. You can always straighten the front leg as well if this gets a bit too much. We're going to inhale back up to center. We are going to straighten the leg at this point. I like to scoot my back foot in a bit for this. It's going to come to triangle, but you don't have to. We're going to inhale, exhale, reach forwards. Release that arm down towards the leg. There's no weight in that. The opposite arm floats up towards the ceiling. Rooting that shoulder blade down, letting the arm sort of drop down into the socket. Don't worry if anything that I describe you don't massively necessarily feel. A lot of it comes with time, and a lot of it just, you know, we all sort of observe things in different ways, so don't worry about it. We're going to inhale, exhale, press down through the feet, bring the right hand up and over, and then just release back to center. I'm going to turn to face you, so I'm literally just going to turn the foot in. So I'm coming into a nice wide stance, bringing my hands onto my hips, inhaling, exhaling, leaning forwards. If you want, you can grab a block at this stage. Maybe place your hands on the block, entirely up to you. Or you can have the hands on the floor. You can use the block at any height, which is quite nice. Don't worry if you don't have the block, you can always find something else, I'm sure. Inhaling, exhaling, belly button towards spine to sort of bring yourself lower. I'm getting a nice stretch down the inner thighs. I'm not hugely forward foldy, personally. I love doing it, but I'm not that flexible in this direction, so it's obviously really good for me to do. But don't worry too much about where you come to with this. And when you're ready, just releasing the head, maybe giving it a little shake out as well. You can use your belly button, pulling it towards your spine, engaging your pelvic floor muscles to bring yourself a little bit deeper into this one. One more breath here, then inhaling, coming back up to a straight back position. Maybe using your block here. I quite like this one for this particular movement. I'm actually going to use it on the highest setting. I'm going to just take one arm up to come into a nice open twist, and then exhale it down. Same again on the opposite side, inhaling up
and exhaling down. Again, always feeling that you can adjust with these poses to make them feel better for you. Ooh, that was a nice crack. Final one to the final side. Again, if this is just getting too much on the legs, because we've had them in this big stretch position for a while, just always feel free to come out and never rush to come back into things. Take your time. I'm going to bring my hands onto my hips. I'm going to inhale, exhale, press down through my heels, bring myself back up. We're going to turn to do our warrior sequence in the opposite direction. So turning, for me, it's turning the left foot out, bending into that knee so the knee is above the ankle, not further than that, and energizing those feet so they're trying to move away from one another on the mat. Belly button towards the spine, inhaling the arms up to center. It's called Warrior 2 for a reason. You should be working in it. You shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, this is easy, I'm hanging out. But again, it's always up to you, your practice. Inhale, turn that front palm up to face the ceiling. Exhale, bring it up and over. Inhale the arms back up to center. Straighten that front leg. If you want to, shorten your stance again. Just sort of depends where you are in your warrior 2 and what you like for your triangle. Inhale, exhale, reach forward, release the hand down, always extending through the crown of the head. And again, don't worry about bringing the arm all the way down. You can if you want to, but just keep it somewhere that feels nice and good for you. Maybe give that wrist a little bit of a circle if you want to. You can always focus on bringing the top hip ever so slightly further back and the bottom hip through and under. It's a really tiny movement though. Inhale, exhale, press down through the heels. Bring yourself feet together by just going to bring heel toeing. And if you want to at this stage, it's quite nice maybe to roll up a bit of your mat or grab a cushion again or a block and just to raise your heels slightly on it. This isn't the best cushion for it, but it'll be fine. So, and you might not need that. We're going to do a few yogic squats just to bring ourselves down to the mat. Taking a few deep inhales and exhales here. Maybe closing your eyes for a moment. Noticing how you're feeling now. So we're going to inhale as we come down. Keeping nice and long through tailwind. You don't have to come all the way down. Here, you can be wherever feels good for you. And we exhale to push back up. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Woo! Bit of a wobble. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. The reason we exhale as we come up is because it engages the pelvic floor muscles. Squatting is really good for the pelvic floor and core. Ooh, that arm is a bit weird. Now, obviously you can stop whenever you want to. Or you can keep going. This time as we inhale, we're going to stay down there. If you want, pressing the hands together at your heart, and you'll find that that helps bring the legs a little bit further apart. May or may not be nice. Always trying to think about rolling those shoulders down, keeping nice and long through the spine. And then just releasing out of that. I've got a very handily placed cushion, which my bottom has just come onto, which is actually perfect. What we're going to do now is bring one heel in. Extend the opposite leg away, flexing through that foot, so we've got a nice muscle engagement down the back here. I'm going to inhale the opposite arm up and exhale it over. I'm just using this hand here to make sure I keep nice and open, I don't collapse or round forward. If you've got tight shoulders like me, you might want to bend at the elbow. You might just want to keep reaching, whatever feels nice. Again, you can come, quite a long way over into this if you want to, but make sure you don't collapse or round forward, but you're staying nice and open.
So it's comfortable looking up towards the ceiling, but otherwise down to the hand. We're going to inhale back up, place this hand by the hip. Inhale, lifting up the hips, reaching the hand back for a low wild thing. Releasing that down, taking the hand to the opposite knee and just coming into a gentle twist. Releasing that back to center, changing your legs, switching it up, inhaling the opposite arm up, exhaling it over. So again, making sure you're not collapsing or rounding forward. I find in a lot of poses I don't have to come seemingly very far into them to get a really big stretch. So if that's the same, if you're up here and you've got like a gorgeous stretch, that's awesome. Be happy with where you are today. Inhale, come back up, place the hand down, and if you want to, inhaling, lifting the hips, lifting the arm up. Wild thing's always a bit of a difficult one to describe. I just sort of feel like you should go with what feels quite nice for your body right now. And releasing down out of that, taking the hand to the knee and just doing a nice little twist here. Relaxing the shoulders down. And then we're just going to come out of this, bring both soles of both feet together, holding onto the toes, and just butterflying the knees gently up and down. Sitting up nice and tall. I'm just smiling because I always remind myself when I'm teaching cues, I sort of notice what I'm doing in my own body sometimes, and it's good, I think. Bringing the feet back up, we're going to come back down onto the backs now. Placing the cushion out to the side. Entirely up to you how you come down. If you want to, if your lower back isn't great, just bring yourself down onto your side and rolling onto your back. We're going to come into bridge pose. And again, you can take this sort of as far as you want. And again, if you want to, actually, if you have a block, you can always place it lengthways between the thighs. Really good for squeezing in bridge pose, bringing you up. So roughly, you should be able to sort of brush the back of your heels. Again, don't worry if you can't, it's not a problem. We'll have different body and arm lengths, so just get into a nice comfortable position, feet are in parallel, hip width apart. And we're pressing down through the shoulders, through the hands. We take a big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to roll up through the spine, squeezing the block if you've got it. If you don't worry, just think about your knees coming towards you. And then think about your shins moving away from you, pointing for me towards the door, and your knees lifting up, pressing down. Inhaling, exhaling to roll back down. So we're always moving on the exhale for this one. Take a big deep inhale at the bottom. Exhaling, rolling, squeezing that block, engaging that core and pelvic floor, lifting up, up, up. Obviously you can take as many of these as you want to. If you're new to yoga, so your chest comes up towards your chin, but then you want to take your chin up towards the ceiling, so we keep nice and long through the neck. One more. Pressing down through those shoulders, hands and feet, knees away, and bringing everything back down. Bringing the knees into the chest and hugging the knees in. Maybe giving them a little roll from side to side. Massage, whatever feels good. And taking a little supine twist here just to close. You want taking the arms out of shoulder, or you can always cactus them. Inhale, exhale, let the knees drop over to one side. If you want, looking towards the opposite hand, maybe trying to replace that shoulder blade down on the floor.
back up to centre and exhaling them. Come over onto the opposite side. Again, looking the opposite way, maybe replacing the opposite shoulder down onto the floor if that feels nice. Just coming to a place where you feel like you've got a really nice stretch for you, and then breathing there. Inhaling the knees back up to centre, giving them another little squeeze in. And then extending the legs, coming for your shavasana, so grabbing a blanket, your socks, turning the palms up to face the ceiling, whatever feels nice for you. Maybe working on a little golden thread breath whilst you lie here. So inhaling through the nose, nice and deep, full inhale. And as you exhale, just exhale through a really small gap in the lips, imagining that a golden thread is spinning out of the lips. And with every inhale you take, your body is being filled with a lovely warm light. And with every exhalation, tension is just seeping, flowing, releasing from the body. 3 more of those. It's my little boy making noise, sorry. Not that I can apologise for him, really, he's super cute. A couple more of these golden thread breaths, and then remaining here in Shavasana for as long as you would like. Otherwise, rolling yourself slowly over onto your right hand side, staying there for a few breaths, bringing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. Hi. Bringing your hands to your heart. You can come in, it's alright. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling them down. And namaste. Come here.
We ruined your...
Hi. No, of course you haven't. You can say hi.
We just